G'day guys, welcome back to Wombat Gaming. I'm going to be showing you today how I set up my ARK metal, obsidian, oil, whatever you want to get, it's in the ocean, farming station. So I've got this little outpost in the middle of the ocean. This happens to be on Ragnarok, so I am kind of like all the way out here. Now there are plenty of places that you can get metal and obsidian, crystal, things like that. But farming them can be quite difficult. So if you want to do it in the sea, it's actually pretty easy to set up. Now you will need quite a few resources to set up a base like this. So it's probably not a starting out base. Probably more inclined to someone who's been on the service a little while. A couple of ways that you can do it. You can see here I've got a linked storage box. I recommend this is the way to go if you do have Bob's Tales. It's an excellent DLC in my opinion. Got some really handy things in it. And I'll show you how that works in a second. But if you don't, you can do another couple of methods. You can use a teleporter with a storage container. And I'll show you how all this works in a second. You can just use a bed. Now the problem with the bed is, I guess, you really want to store your, uh, your ARK dinos out here rather than, and you can't bring them on a bed. So I would recommend probably using the teleporter. It's a lot easier to get back and forth if you can do that. Now, what you're going to need is you're going to need a pretty strong, a Balosaurus, Basilosaurus, because you want a bit of protection out here. So that's something I'd recommend having with you. I've got a pretty high one there. Also, you want a donkey. This guy here is he's pretty maxed out. This guy is 421, so I managed to get myself a really good one. His melee damage is 2,200 plus, and it's a fine line between storage weight on these guys and the damage. So bear that in mind. We preferred to have a few more points in weight on him now that I've done this. So I'm raising a couple more at the moment. I'm going to put more into weight just so I don't have to do multiple runs. I find that over 2,000 the damage doesn't seem to be much different. I could be wrong there, but anyway, let's show you how this works. We've used vacuum compartments. I will show you how that's all set up as well. Now the vacuum compartments allow you to have obviously a breathable area here, but also I've connected 4 vacuum compartments down here, so my tames are safe when we're making our way back to a base. We have to. Now I've put my base out here because there's a couple of really good farming areas. So we're going to go on farm and show you how this all works now. So we make sure I'm going to be using a scuba. And I'm also going to, you could use the tech stuff if you want to, but I find the scuba is just easier. And all right, so we are going to head out to one of the places on Rag that you can get obsidian and iron, or metal I should say, in the one spot. And there's a couple of these in this area here. There's these sinkholes essentially. Now they're pretty close to my base, so I don't have to worry too much. And the donkey will go down here. Now the Basilosaurus won't, but there's nothing down this one, so you won't have to worry too much. So this is just to show you how it all works. There are a few different methods of getting all this stuff back to your base, but let's do a little bit of metal gathering. Now we're on official ×2 at the moment, so we are going to fill up fairly quickly just in this little cave. I could probably do 2 runs in this cave easily, obsidian and the metal. I could dump the stone, but I find the stone doesn't really take a lot of room up in the Dunkosaurus anyway, so and we can always use the stone for something else. All right, we're pretty full there. I go any further and we're going to get pretty full. So we're going to head back to the base, shows you how this works, and then if you guys want to know how I set up the vacuum compartments and some little tips and tricks I'll show you as well, because you do not want to have a tame die, and I'll show you why you can lose your tame, especially when you got air around. So lost there. Okay, so we're going to head back. Now I am using a skin on my base, so it's a bit hard to tell, but I have enclosed the vacuum containers in metal, and also obviously I've got the tech doors on each end, so just a bit of protection. Now the reason for the metal is I found I did it once without the metal, and I accidentally left one of my dinos on follow, and he decided to try and make his way into the area where the air is, and died straight away. So, all right. So the trick here is that you want to line yourself up with that compartment that I made, and I'll show you this in a second. And you see, once you get yourself turn right. Now, if I turned straight ahead, I'd be opening the tech door. So I just turn right and hit enter. And then you can see that the saddle area is directly above this hatch. Now, the reason why I've got a hatch here, I'll show you in a second. It makes it really, really easy to get all your items out. And obviously, I've got the linked storage box there. So we're going to just hop back down in here, go into his inventory. Now, we're just going to hit 0 for PC. We're just going to basically drop all these things. Now, good thing about ARK is that they don't drop and hit the bottom of the ocean. They actually float up. So I'm going to hope back up here. Now, once they're all in that little spot, I find it easier just to close the trapdoor, and then you can just hit F and it'll pick up pretty much everything there. So we've got everything in your inventory, way more than you can normally carry. But it is, and then you can just move this across into the link storage. Now, I don't need this stuff in there. So you can see now everything's in the link storage, and that was pretty much easily done. Now I'm going to essentially go back and show you how I now transport it into my metal refiner. So we're going to go back to here. There's a lot of teleporters in my area, open to public. All right, so we are back at my base now. I've set the forge out here, and I've obviously just got some storage next to it. There's my linked box, and obviously there's a really heavy item, so I've got them downstairs, not in my main base, just to make it easier. So you can just position yourself here, and then you can just start dragging stuff out, putting it straight into the refinery. As you can see, you can just get tons. I've only done a couple of runs this morning, and you just get tons of metal this way. Obsidian, and then as much stone as you want as well. Just get these close by, and essentially, yeah, you just be doing that over and over again. So very, very easy to do. And don't forget, we're running around to take the skill gear off now. Yeah, that's just a really easy way of setting it up. I will show you quickly how I set up the vacuums just really quickly. We'll go and grab one. We'll go back to the ocean, and I'll just transfer one out. Now I'll take do I have any, got some of these, we don't need that many. I'll just take yeah, we'll take some of this and some of that just to show you the basics. Now you don't need to use pillars. I don't know why, but I'll show you why. Let's head back to the water base and show you quickly how this works, because it is quite complicated. A lot of people I notice do get stuck trying to figure out how to build their base out in the ocean with these vacuum compartments, and they are super handy to use. So, all right, so let's find ourselves a spot. Just, get up our, let's check there's nothing around. Like, this spot's actually pretty good for no creatures, which is kind of good. Now, what you want to do is you just want to, you can place the vacuum just bang on the ground if you want to. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. So I'll just go over here to some rock ledges, and we will, actually, let's try a pillar first, and let's see if that, yeah, that's going to work better. Okay, so now we've got our vacuum container on top of a pillar. Now, if you try to put these ceilings down first, they actually won't sit on them, and I'll show you why in a second. Okay, do that right. Let's pick him up again and try and put him down on there. Don't prove me wrong. Okay, so that time it did work. Normally I have a lot of trouble doing that, but anyway, the way to do it to get them to actually click to this, because if you try and click them to them now, they're not going to click. They're only going to click the tops and the sides, so they're not going to actually go on the actual outer area. So what we want to do is we want to go up to the vacuum. We want to unlock it firstly, and then we want to basically open the portals, each and every one of them, like this. and then you'll find that that's a clear, then basically just that. So you can then just go inside, and then this has obviously got, you know, got air in it. And then if you want to, you can just go up to a wall, and then you can click flood compartment, or you can, you know, flood all connected if you're making a bigger base like I have. So now to attach, it's pretty straightforward. Now you just have to, yeah, basically just, yeah, start adding the sides and do what you want to do. And you can put a door in. Now, if you have trouble putting a tech door, I did have a little trouble getting a tech door on one of these. So if you're doing a door like this and you want to have put a tech door, make sure you come on the inside and place the tech door from the inside. It won't work on the outside for me. Well, it didn't work for me anyway. So that's essentially how you build that. Now, just to remove that all, you would just you can just pick that up, and we can get rid of the pillar. That should all just go back into our, and voila. So yeah, so this one here, I've designed 2 vacuum compartments up the top here. 3, sorry, 3. One is over the actual pen area, I would say, and then the 2 are just to the side, holding, you know, the bed and you know, generator and stuff like that. And then I made this one. This one here is 6, so it's 3 long and 2 wide. And now you can obviously add more to it if you want to. I just felt like the donkey and the Bazzy would fit in here fine, and they didn't need to, yeah, didn't need to worry about anything bigger. I don't tend to use any other tames out in the ocean. And it's just surrounded by metal. The reason for the metal, like I said earlier, is just so you basically not going to have, you have this guy on follow. Get out of here. If you have him on follow, he won't follow you through structures that are already placed, which is good. So for some reason, if there is no structure there, if I had that trapdoor not there, he may try and come through that. Or sometimes I've run into a wall with a dino and been sort of partially in the wall with a dino, and then hopped out, and then he's been considered in the air area and died instantly. So do not want that to happen. And yeah, look, that's a really quick video, guys. I hope that helped somebody out there. I definitely recommend, yeah, like I said, collecting the goods here, putting them into the link storage box, or using the safe, and then using this safe to teleport back and forth. Just have your teleportation teleporter really close to the base area that you want to land on. So like I'll show you again just one more time. You want it to be really close to the actual refiner, and as you can see, it loads, it's right there. So I can place metal straight in if I want to do that. If I'm transporting other things like crystal and rock, I put them straight in as well. But definitely recommend the link storage box overall. So anyway, if you did like this, make sure, yeah, you like and subscribe. I've done a few ARK videos in the past. I'll be doing more coming up, and maybe I'll do a base tour, show you some of the stuff. I'll also try and link the skins that I'm using down below if anybody's interested. This particular base here, using some, let's have a look, the sci-fi skin. I don't know if it actually lists them in here, but it's cosmetic, yeah, quantum set. Okay, so the quantum set, I'm using a mixture of that. It's a $5 set to buy. Well, that was in AU anyway, and I'm also using these. Most of these other ones are all free. This one here is just like a marble. It's got black marble, white marble, and I use the clear glass for doors and roofs, things like that. So yeah, I might do a base tour later and show you how I have things set up on RAG. And yeah, if you'd like to enjoy this, hit that like button, consider subscribing. You got any further tips? You think I could have done something better? By all means, let me know. Definitely open to having some feedback. And yeah, look forward to seeing you on the next video. One bad out.
Wenn der dich so wärm, well, let's bounce und deinen takes to the skies with pixels ablaze and battles untamed. We'll conquer the virtual now.